So South Africa took very specific steps actually quite early on in the developments. So they declared the state of emergency, if I'm not mistaken, around the 14th of March, which was then followed by a lockdown, nationwide lockdown on the 27th. And that lockdown literally meant lockdown. So the only services allowed were so-called essential services, water supply, electricity supply, but all businesses had to close down. Consequently, we closed down all cement factories that we have, and so did every other player in the industry. So the interesting thing is that we had, of course, a number of measures in place before the lockdown, which were more around the basic hygiene, the social distancing, and these kind of things. And people who came into our plants had to confirm about their travel history and all of that. One of our objectives is that we keep people on the payroll and protect their net income. And we are actually very pleased that a lot of people have contributed with personal leave balance reduction whilst they were still working. Ourselves as management, we've taken 15 days of holiday during April. We are considered a mining company, and mining companies can operate at 50% of their capacity. And since we have a number of customers that are now starting up, especially in the mining sector, we do get requests. So we actually do have some of our dispatch open. One of our providers in the logistics sphere has an app developed that keeps track on certain elements of well-being. So we're actually copying from them. So you do actually see a lot of good things happening at the moment, where within the supply chain, you see that solutions are being shared. Within the industry, solutions are being shared. And I think that is one of the positives actually out of this situation. We're working with a variety of scenarios, country by country. We focus on South Africa. You can look at a scenario whereby there will be an increased amount of investments coming from government into infrastructure. That has also been announced by the president. That is one of the areas they're looking at, together with low-cost housing, as they have seen that the housing situation is an issue in general, and particularly in a crisis like this. So Zimbabwe has opened up mining and selectively opened up manufacturing. So we've had the permission granted a couple of days ago that we restart our operations. So our kilns and our grinding stations in Zimbabwe are now operational at a low level of sales, obviously. A number of advantages. It gives you the advantages that you have some sales, which always helps, but it also gives you the advantage that there's a bit more confidence in our customer base. So obviously, a lot of our customers who have outstanding receivables are very reluctant to pay because they have no visibility on when cash is coming in. And if they trickle in a little bit of cash, you keep that machine going, and that is very helpful. Same in Rwanda. So Rwanda also, we started our operations already a week ago. We do a bit of export into the eastern part of DRC, and we supply critical projects in country. But at least it keeps this momentum going. And the last country where we are in the DRC, with PPC Barnet, DRC has only partially locked down in Kinshasa, and has put a number of logistics controls, let's put it in place. But our DRC operation has been running almost at similar levels as last year at the same time.
Right.
With the disruption, as you mentioned, the global supply chains, if you as a country become dependent on imports, and we've seen this in some African countries, they have had shortages because the supplying side was getting in lockdown earlier than the demand side. So definitely, a country like South Africa, local industry is something that is essential.
Yeah.
I do believe that construction needs to be brought back online sooner. I understand that it is a risk because it's people coming together on a construction site, etc. But it is an engine for an economy that is dealing with a lot of unemployment. And